Hello, and welcome back to another useful and effective episode here at Code Your English. I'm really happy that you're here with me today. I know you want to improve your English, and I'm here to help you do that. Step by step, word by word, we will practice English together, and also learn about life, the world, and different ideas. So once again, thank you for joining me today. My name is Jason, and this is a podcast made for English learners like you. Maybe you are learning English for your job, your school, or just for fun. Whatever your reason is, you are doing something good for yourself. So congratulations on being here. Learning a new language is not easy, but it can be fun and interesting when we learn with real topics that help us think. In this podcast, I try to bring you topics that are not only good for practicing listening and speaking, but also good for life. Today's topic is one of those important ideas. The topic is, life is not same for everyone. What does this mean? Why are we talking about it? Well, we all live in the same world, but we do not all have the same life. Some people have big houses. Some people have no homes. Some children go to school every day. Some children work to help their families. Some people are born into rich families, while others are born into very difficult situations. This is the truth about life, and it is something we don't often think about deeply. But today, I want us to think about it together, in a simple and clear way. Why is this topic important for English learners? First, it helps you learn real English. Words and sentences that people use in daily life to talk about the world. Second, it helps you understand different people and their lives. When we learn about others, we become kinder and wiser. And third, it helps you think in English. This is very important if you want to speak more naturally. Thinking in English while learning something new is a powerful way to grow your language skills. So, in this episode, we are going to talk about how life is different for different people. We will ask some questions like, why is life easier for some and harder for others? What can we learn from this idea? And how can this help us become better people? Don't worry, the English in this episode will be simple. I will speak clearly and slowly, and I will explain everything in easy words. You can also listen more than once to practice. Now, are you ready? Let's start our journey into this important topic. Life is not same for everyone. Let's think, learn, and grow together. What does the sentence mean? So, let's begin with a simple question. What does the sentence, life is not same for everyone, mean? You may have heard this sentence before. It is a common sentence in English, and it talks about something very real. But what does it really mean? Let's try to understand it together, step by step. When we say, life is not same for everyone, we are saying that every person in the world has a different life. Not everyone has the same experiences. Not everyone gets the same things. People live in different places. People come from different families. People face different problems. Some people have an easy life. Some people have a hard life. Some people are rich, and some people are poor. Some people are healthy, and some people are sick. This sentence reminds us that every person's life is different in many ways. Let's look at a few small examples to understand this better. Imagine two children. One child lives in a big house in a rich country. She goes to a good school. She has toys, books, and healthy food every day. She has loving parents who support her and help her study. Now think about another child who lives in a small village with no school nearby. His family does not have much money. He wakes up early every morning to help his parents work. Sometimes, there is not enough food to eat. These two children are the same age, but their lives are very different. This is what we mean when we say, life is not same for everyone. Let's take another example. Imagine two men. One of them has a good job in a big company. He travels for work, uses the internet every day, and speaks many languages. The other man lives in a small town and has never left his country. He works hard every day just to earn a little money. He never had the chance to go to university. They are both good people, but they had different chances in life. Again, this shows us that life is not the same for everyone. We can also think about people's health. Some people are born with strong bodies. They can walk, run, and do many things easily. But others may be born with problems. Maybe they cannot see, or they cannot walk. Maybe they are sick often and need help. These people live with challenges every day that others do not even think about. So even in health, life is different for different people. Even something simple like where you are born makes a big difference. A person born in a peaceful country may never worry about war or danger. But someone born in a country with conflict or violence may grow up with fear. They may not have safety, good schools, or clean water. These are things many people take for granted, but not everyone has them. This is another way to understand that life is not same for everyone. Now, I want you to think about your own life. You have your own story. You have your own problems and your own good things. Maybe you had to work very hard to be where you are today. Or maybe you are lucky to have things that many people don't. Either way, your life is special, and it is different from someone else's life. That's okay. That's how the world is. This idea is not meant to make you feel sad. It is not just about rich and poor, or good and bad. It's about understanding that we are all walking different roads. Some roads are smooth, some are difficult, some are long, some are short, but no two people walk exactly the same road. This is the deep meaning behind the sentence, life is not same for everyone. And when we understand this meaning, we start to see people in a new way. We stop comparing ourselves all the time. We stop asking, why does he have more than me? Or, why is her life better than mine? Instead, we begin to understand that life is not fair or equal for all. And that's just how life works. It doesn't mean we stop trying. It doesn't mean we give up. But it means we learn to be kind to others. We learn to be patient with our own journey. So, now you know. This simple sentence holds a big truth. Life is not same for everyone. And when we understand this deeply, we become better people. We become more understanding, more thankful, and more human. Different lives, different challenges. Now that we understand the meaning of the sentence, life is not same for everyone, let's talk more about how people live different lives. Every person in the world has a unique life story. Some people live in big cities, and some live in small villages. Some are rich, and some are poor. Some have many opportunities, while others have very few. These differences shape how people live, what they can do, and what kind of problems they face every day. Let's start with the difference between rich and poor. A rich person usually has a comfortable life. They may live in a big house, drive a car, and eat healthy food every day. They can go to the doctor when they are sick, and they can travel to other countries for holidays. Their children often go to good schools, and they don't have to worry much about basic needs like food, water, or clothes. Of course, even rich people have problems, but their problems are usually different. On the other hand, a poor person may have to work very hard just to survive. They might live in a small house or even on the streets. They may not have enough money to buy food or medicine, Their children may not go to school because the family needs help with work. Poor people face stress and struggle every day. They often do not have choices. Their life is not just harder, it is also more limited. They may dream of a better life, but reaching that dream can be very difficult. Let's now think about the difference between life in the city and life in the village. A person living in a big city usually has access to many things. There are schools, hospitals, shops, buses, trains, and internet. Life in the city moves fast, and people are always busy. They have many chances to learn, to work, and to meet new people. But city life can also be stressful. There is noise, pollution, traffic, and sometimes people feel lonely even when surrounded by others. In a village, life is usually quieter and slower. People often know each other and help each other more. The air is cleaner, and life feels more connected to nature. But village life can also be hard. Many villages do not have good schools or hospitals. There may be no internet, no good roads, or no public transport. People in villages may have to travel long distances just to get basic services. So again, we see that both city life and village life have different challenges. Let me share a small story to make this idea more real. Imagine two girls, Sarah and Amina. Sarah lives in a modern city. She wakes up in her comfortable bedroom, takes a hot shower, eats breakfast, and goes to a private school. She has a computer, a mobile phone, and many books. After school, she goes to music class or swimming lessons. She does her homework using the internet and sleeps in a quiet, warm room. Now think about Amina. She lives in a small village far from the city. Her family is poor, and her school is very far from her home. She walks 2 kilometers every day just to get to school. Her classroom has no computers, and sometimes there is no electricity. After school, she helps her mother cook or take care of her younger brothers and sisters. At night, she studies under a small light if there is power. Both girls are smart. Both want to learn. But their lives are not the same. Their challenges are different. Sarah's biggest problem might be getting a good grade in music class. Amina's problem might be walking to school when it rains. Another example could be 2 young men, John and Ahmed. John lives in a country where jobs are easy to find. He finished school and got a job quickly. He works in an office, has health insurance, and gets paid holidays. He can plan for the future. Ahmed, however, lives in a country with high unemployment. Even though he finished university, he cannot find a job. He sends his resume to many places, but gets no answer. He feels tired and worried. His dream is to help his family, but he doesn't have the chance. These examples help us understand how different lives come with different challenges. Even when 2 people have the same dreams, the way they must walk to reach those dreams is not the same. Some people have to climb mountains, while others walk on a flat road. This does not mean one person is better than the other. It only shows us that life gives different situations to different people. When we understand this, we begin to be more kind. We stop judging others. We stop saying things like, if I can do it, they can do it too. Because we learn that not everyone starts from the same place. Everyone is fighting their own battle, even if we cannot see it. So, next time you meet someone, remember, maybe their life is very different from yours. Maybe their problems are bigger than they show. And maybe their strength is greater than you think. Life is not same for everyone. And because of that, we should try to treat others with patience and understanding. Why life is different for people. So now, let's go deeper and ask an important question. Why is life different for people? Why do some people have easier lives while others face more problems? Why do some people get many chances, and others get very few? These are big questions, but today, we will try to answer them in a simple way. There are many reasons why people's lives are different. Let's talk about some of the main ones: family background, country or environment, health, education, and opportunities. Let's begin with family background. A person's life often starts with their family. Some people are born into rich or educated families. Their parents can give them love, support, and everything they need: food, clothes, a safe home, and good education. These children grow up with many things already prepared for them. On the other hand, some people are born into poor families. Their parents may work very hard, but still have little money. These children may not have toys, books, or enough food. Sometimes they have to grow up very fast and help the family with work or take care of younger brothers and sisters. So, just the family we are born into can make a big difference in how life begins for each person. Next is the country or environment we are born in. This also affects our lives a lot. Some people are born in peaceful countries with good schools, hospitals, clean water, and safety. These people grow up feeling protected and have more chances to study and succeed. But some people are born in countries where there is war, poverty, or political problems. Maybe there are no jobs, or schools are far away. Some people live in places with natural disasters like floods, droughts, or earthquakes. Their daily life is more difficult, and they must fight just to survive. Again, this is not something we choose. We do not choose where we are born, but it can change our life completely. Another big reason is health. Health is a very important part of life. Some people are born healthy and strong. They can play, work, study, and travel without problems. But other people are born with sickness or disabilities. Some may not be able to walk, hear, or see. Others may have health problems that need expensive medicine or treatment. Life becomes more difficult for them. Even simple things take more time and effort. This also creates differences between people's lives. A healthy person may not think twice about walking to the store, but for someone in a wheelchair, this same task can be a big challenge. Let's talk about education. Education gives people the power to grow and change their life. When someone goes to school, learns to read and write, and studies new things, they can get better jobs and make better choices. But not everyone gets the same education. Some children live in areas where there are no schools, or the schools are very poor. Sometimes the teachers are not trained well, or there are too many students in one classroom. In other places, children have good schools with books, computers, and nice buildings. So, even in learning, people have different experiences. A person who finishes university may have many doors open to them, while someone who never finished school may find it very hard to get a good job. And finally, let's talk about opportunities. This word means the chances or options a person has in life. Opportunities are not the same for everyone. Some people have many doors open. They can choose what to study, where to work, and what to do with their time. Others have very few doors. Maybe they have to accept any job just to earn money, or they must leave school to support their family. Sometimes people don't even know that better opportunities exist because no one around them ever had those chances. Opportunities can depend on many things: money, location, gender, social class, or even luck. So, when we look at all these things, family, country, health, education, and opportunities, we start to understand why life is not equal for everyone. People do not all begin life from the same place. Some people have a head start, while others must work harder just to get to the starting line. This doesn't mean that success is impossible for people with hard lives, but it does mean their path is more difficult, and they may need more time and more support. Understanding these reasons helps us stop making quick judgments about others. It also helps us become more kind, more patient, and more thankful for what we have. When we meet someone who is struggling, we should remember that we don't know their full story. Maybe they are doing their best with the little they have. Maybe they are fighting battles we cannot see. Life is full of differences, and that's part of what makes it beautiful, but also challenging. The more we understand these differences, the more we can help build a world that is fairer, more supportive, and more caring for everyone. Being thankful and understanding others. Now that we've talked about why life is different for people, let's talk about something very important: being thankful for what we have and understanding other people's situations. These two things can really change how we see the world and how we treat others, and they can also make our own lives better. Let's start with the idea of being thankful. In English, we often use the word grateful, which means feeling happy and thankful for the good things we have in life. Sometimes, when we see other people who have more than us, more money, a better house, a better job, or more freedom, we start to feel sad or jealous. We ask ourselves, why don't I have that? Or, why is my life so hard compared to theirs? But here's something to think about. Even if your life is not perfect, there are always things to be thankful for. Maybe you have a family who loves you. Maybe you have food to eat every day. Maybe you have a healthy body, or the chance to go to school, or even just the ability to listen to this podcast and learn English. These things may seem small, but they are not small to everyone. Some people in the world wish they had what you have right now. Being thankful does not mean we stop dreaming or stop working for a better life. It just means we don't forget to notice the good things we already have. It helps us feel more positive and less stressed. When we stop for a moment and say, "I'm thankful for my home," or "I'm thankful for this day," it changes how we feel. It brings peace to our mind. Gratitude is a powerful tool, and we all can practice it, no matter how difficult life is. Now let's talk about another important idea: understanding others, or what we call empathy. Empathy means trying to feel what another person feels. It means imagining what life is like for someone else. When we have empathy, we do not judge people quickly. We do not say, "He is lazy," or "She should try harder." Instead, we ask, what might this person be going through? Or, what if I were in their place? Let's think of an example. Imagine you see a man working as a cleaner in a big office building. You may think, oh, he has a simple job. But if you stop and think, maybe he works 12 hours a day to take care of his family. Maybe he never had the chance to go to school. Maybe he is doing his best every single day. When we try to understand his story, we begin to respect him more. That is empathy. Empathy helps us connect with people. It helps us be better friends, better family members, better neighbors, and even better citizens of the world. It reminds us that everyone has their own problems. Some people smile, but inside they may be tired, sad, or lonely. Some people may be quiet, but inside, they are strong and brave. We never know someone's full story, so we should always be kind. Empathy also teaches us not to compare our lives too much with others. Social media and television often show us perfect lives, beautiful homes, expensive clothes, and happy families. But real life is not always like that. People usually don't share their pain, their worries, or their problems. So when we compare our real life with someone's perfect photo, we may feel bad, but that photo is just one moment, not the full story. When we understand this, we stop comparing and start focusing on our own path. Both gratitude and empathy can live together in our hearts. When we are thankful for our life, we feel more peaceful. When we understand others, we feel more connected. These two things make us more human, and they help make the world a better place, even in small ways. For example, when you are thankful, you are more likely to help someone else. Maybe you give food to someone who needs it. Maybe you listen to a friend who is feeling sad. Maybe you speak kindly to someone who feels alone. These small actions come from a big heart. And when many people do these things, our communities become stronger and kinder. So the next time you feel that life is unfair, try to stop and breathe. Think about something you are thankful for. Then, look at the people around you. Ask yourself, what might their life be like? Or, how can I help or support them today? These simple thoughts can make a big difference, not just in your English learning journey, but in your whole life. Remember, we may not all have the same life, but we can all choose to be more kind, more thankful, and more understanding. What can we learn from this? So now, after talking about how life is different for everyone, and why, and how we can be more thankful and understanding, let's ask one more important question. What can we learn from all of this? What lessons can we take into our real life from this topic? The first lesson is simple, but powerful. Don't compare yourself to others too much. In life, it's easy to look at someone else and feel bad. Maybe they have more money, more success, or more freedom. Maybe their life looks perfect from the outside. But remember what we talked about. Everyone has a different life. You may not know the struggles they are facing, and they may not know the challenges you have overcome. So, when we stop comparing and start focusing on our own journey, we feel more peaceful and more confident. We learn to respect our own story. Another important lesson is this: life is not fair, but we can still be kind. It's true that some people have more chances than others. Some people are lucky, and some people are not. But we can choose how we react. We can choose to be kind, even when life is hard. We can choose to help others, even if we don't have a lot. Being kind doesn't need money. It just needs a good heart. When we understand that life is not the same for everyone, we stop judging others quickly. We become softer and more patient. This is something the world really needs. More people who care, more people who try to understand. We also learn the value of gratitude. When we understand how difficult life can be for some people, we start to notice the good things in our own life. Maybe you have food, clean water, a bed, and a place to sleep. These are not small things. Many people don't have them. When we feel thankful for what we already have, we stop always wanting more. We feel more satisfied and happy. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. It helps us enjoy the present moment instead of always chasing the next thing. Another lesson is about strength and respect. Sometimes we look at people who are poor or struggling and think they are weak. But that's not true. Many of these people are actually very strong. Imagine someone who works 12 hours a day just to buy food for their family. Or a mother who raises her children alone with no help. Or a student who studies by candlelight because there is no electricity. These people are not weak. They are powerful in ways we don't always see. So we learn to respect people for their strength, even if their life looks simple or small. We also learn that every small action matters. Maybe we can't change the whole world. Maybe we can't fix every problem. But we can do small things with love. We can help one person. We can speak kindly. We can share what we have. These small things can make someone's day better. And when we do them again and again, they become part of who we are. They become our way of making the world a little bit better, one person at a time. This idea that life is not same for everyone can also help us in our jobs, our schools, and our communities. For example, if you're a teacher, this idea can help you understand your students better. Not all students come from the same background. Some may need more support, some may need more time. If you are a worker, it helps you work better with your team. You begin to see people with new eyes, with more patience and care. If you are a student, you start to respect your classmates. You stop making fun of others because you understand that we all have different stories. And this lesson can also help us grow emotionally. We learn to be more mature, more emotionally strong. Instead of always asking, "Why is life unfair?" we start to ask, "What can I do with the life I have?" We start to focus on what is in our control, our actions, our words, our choices. This gives us power, and this gives us peace. So to put it all together, from this one simple idea, life is not same for everyone. We learn many deep lessons. We learn not to compare. We learn to be kind. We learn to be thankful. We learn to respect others and to help in small ways. We learn to live with more heart, more care, and more strength. And the beautiful thing is, these lessons are not difficult. You don't need to be rich or famous to practice them. You just need to stop, think, and act with kindness in your daily life. Whether you're at school, at work, at home, or in a new country learning English, these lessons will help you connect with others and feel more at peace with yourself. So, ask yourself, what can I do today to be more thankful? Who can I understand better? How can I be a little kinder, even if life is not easy? These are good questions to think about, not just for today, but for every day. So, we've come to the end of today's episode. Let's take a moment to review what we talked about together. Our topic today was, life is not same for everyone. It's a short sentence, but it carries a big meaning. We started by understanding what the sentence means, that every person has a different life, with different problems, chances, and experiences. We learned that no two lives are the same, and that's okay. We talked about the many ways life can be different. Some people live in rich cities, while others live in small villages. Some people are born into wealthy families, while others grow up in poverty. Some people have good health, and others face serious illness. We also looked at how education, family background, and environment can shape a person's life. These things affect the opportunities we get and the challenges we must face. Then, we talked about the importance of being thankful for what we have. Even if life is not perfect, we can always find something good to appreciate. We also spoke about empathy, or trying to understand what life is like for other people. When we do this, we become more kind and more human. And finally, we asked, what can we learn from this? We learned not to compare ourselves with others too much. We learned to be more patient and more understanding. We learned that we can still choose to be kind and strong, even when life is hard. These lessons are useful not just in English class, but in real life, in every country, and in every situation. Now, before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with a simple question to think about, or maybe even speak about in English if you're practicing. What is one thing in your life that you are thankful for today? It doesn't have to be something big. Maybe it's your family, your health, a friend, your job, or even just the chance to learn English. Think about it, and try to say it in a full English sentence. This is a great way to practice both speaking and positive thinking at the same time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Code Your English. I really hope it helped you not just with your English listening, but also with thinking about life in a new way. Remember, the more you listen, the more you learn, and the more you practice, the more confident you will become. Don't forget, you can listen to this episode again and again. You can pause and repeat sentences to practice your pronunciation. You can also write down some of the new words and try using them in your own speaking or writing. I'm really proud of you for choosing to spend your time learning something meaningful in English. Keep going, keep practicing, and most of all, keep growing as a kind and thoughtful person. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye for now, and happy learning!